Hello guys and gals, and welcome! So today we're going to be taking a look at one of the Headmaster series remakes. This is not the original, although it does have a very nice box which resembles the original. And the Headmaster series came very late in the life of Transformers. Definitely not at the beginning. This particular one is Skullcruncher. I actually had the original one as a kid. We picked him up at a thrift store or something. We never had his head though, which I would assume is a common problem among Headmasters, is probably not having his head. I actually, though, when I was a kid, managed to keep my Headmaster Optimus Prime, or rather Target Master Optimus Prime. I managed to keep his Target Master, and it was pretty cool, you know, because it was his gun. This is what he looks like in the box, and it does look like this plastic insert comes out. So we just have a cardboard doodad, and he is held in by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little pieces of plastic. We're going to pop each one of these. And of course, Skullcruncher is a Decepticon. That's right. He's a bad guy. And let's see if I can get his feet one without messing up his feet. I don't want to like accidentally scratch his hands. The way they have them in there, it's kind of hard to get a good snip on here without somehow scratching up the bodywork. Okay, well, there's one. That took way too much effort. Come on, buddy. There we go. Alright. There's our alligator. Missing his tail. Lord, that is in the plastic. Good. And then his gun is not held down by anything. It's like you can just pop the gun out. And the head is not held down by anything. So you can just pop him out. Now, of course, inside the box we did have a instruction manual. Very much so looks like the originals. Of course, that's the entire feel, right? They're trying to go with that original Transformer feel. But from what it looks like, he does not have the same construction as the original Skullcruncher. He does look like he is a little bit different than Skullcruncher in his original form. Really not much to transform on this guy. Does his mouth still open up? I always remember his mouth opening up. I thought that was the coolest thing. It's nowhere near as big as it was in the original. You could like literally fit this guy inside of Skullcruncher's mouth, which it doesn't really seem like you're able to do that now. The head is pretty cool. Let's see if I could get a good shot of the head. Nice like golden color on his mouth and red on the eyes. Let's take a look at the manual real quick and see if there's anywhere specifically we can put our buddy. It does look like there is a compartment for our little buddy. He can fit inside of Skullcruncher's butt compartment. Doesn't look like it's easy to open though. It's definitely not easy to open. His whole midsection looks like it just like comes apart. There goes his tail. Let's see if we can pop open his midsection here. This is some tight work. Like, I can't even get my... Oh, well, okay. It looks like it's made out of rubber and it bends both ways, which is why it wasn't popping up like it should. And now that I know that it's made out of rubber and not plastic, I'm going to gently take my knife and pull that up. Let me show you what I mean. This is his like compartment. It's not like a clear piece of plastic. It's a sort of a clearish piece of rubber. So it pushes inward and it can pop past where it's supposed to pop. So I guess my little dude, we can pull out his little arms, make it look like he's driving the Skullcruncher. Put him in like a little seated mode. Put him inside there. Shut the door, which is obnoxiously like easy to push in way too far, and it looks so stupid when you push it in too far. I don't know why they didn't go with hard plastic on that. Alright, let's go to a fashion shot of my boy here in his alligator mode. And actually, before I do that, is there somewhere to put his gun when he is in alligator mode? Sometimes these transformers have a space for the gun. It looks like the gun goes inside of his tail, according to the instructions, like this. So the gun sticks out of the back of his tail on the underside. It's kind of cool. He also has this little peg right here, which I'm not really sure what that's for. If I can find that in the instructions as well. It doesn't really say what the peg on his tail is for. It could be as a gun. Yeah, it looks like it's used in robot mode as a gun. So he puts it in his hand as robot mode. We'll use that in robot mode when we transform him. For now, let's take a look at him in his alligator mode. Get a nice little fashion shot of him staring at the camera. Alright, so next we're going to transform him into his robot mode. And first I'm going to try and do it without the instruction manual. And then we're going to try to do it with the instruction manual. He seems like a pretty straightforward transformer. It looks like his legs fold out here. Not too difficult to understand. He does seem to have some sort of little back pegs or front pegs for his feet. I would assume that this twists around like this. These are most likely his arms. So we got little hands. Well, that's grody. That's fresh out the box like that too. So it looks like I got a defective hand. It's kind of hard to see, but basically like the knob, the little nodule that goes into the handhold is like completely bent and kind of like just messed up. So his hand literally just popped right out. Not really sure if I'm going to be able to fix that. I can kind of like bend it back in place a little bit, but it still seems like it's going to fall out on a regular basis. It's unfortunate. You can see kind of like a defective hole. Not really sure if you can make it out on camera. The hole itself is kind of like carved out and like the post is squished. Probably some sort of manufacturing defect. I mean, I literally opened him up here on camera. His other hand seems to be okay. Let's go ahead and pull his head back. I'm pretty sure that just folds back, right? That's what I would assume anyway. We also got to get my boy out of prison in here, which I swear I need like a little tool to get this thing open every single time because it constantly pushes in. And my little boy is in here good. Dang. He was in there freaking awesome. I do not like this little rubber backplate piece. I do not like it at all. Alright, so I'm assuming his arms fold down. And looks like he's got elbow joints. Okay. We're going to go ahead and retrieve his gun from his tail. Put that in his right hand, or yeah, his right hand. Put the tail in his other hand. And fold his alligator skull backwards. And then transform our little buddy into his skull plate. Now, I remember distinctly Skullcruncher having a plate on the front of his chest, and when you put his head into the plate, he would immediately show his power levels and whatnot, his strength and his dexterity and stuff like that, and his intelligence. I seem to be having trouble getting him to stand up. Is there something specific that I need to do with his feet, perhaps? It doesn't seem like it. He's definitely back heavy. Like, when I try and get him to stand up, he falls back, like, really quickly. And his knee joints are really kind of loose. I can kind of, like, push his knee joints in a little bit to make him a little bit less back heavy, but then he starts doing the splits. A little bit difficult to get him to stand. This is because his joints are so loose. A little loosey-goosey on the joints there. He's interesting looking. I don't really think he looks as cool as the original. He definitely has the same kind of look and feel as the original, but he's missing some very specific features that the original had. He also seems to be very loose. Like, all of his joints, for a brand new toy, you would think his joints would be a lot, you know, more tight. Also, we have some really weird, like, screws just, like, showing all over the place. I'm not really sure if you guys can see it, because you would have to, like, I'd have to have, like, a light that's, like, pointed directly into the screws. You can see there's a screw right there. There's a screw right there. There's two screws right here and here. So it kind of makes him look a little strange from the front, because he's just, like, covered in screw holes on the front. I mean, yeah, he's a robot, but, like, these are big, giant, well, Phillips head screws on the front of his chassis. And I get it. You know, they're not technically on the front of his chassis when he's in his alligator mode. They're in the front of his chassis only when he's in, you know, in his robot mode. But still, it does look a little strange. Let's get a fashion photo shot of him in his robot mode, and I think that'll be it. If I can get him to stand up.